Hey guys, Zeramus555 here, and I'm coming to you today with the first place Toronto Regional Evil deck profile. This is pretty awesome. We did see regionals Evils get 5th place at a previous regional. The guy who did top that was playing a fairly similar build. Really only a couple changes here, I would say. But overall, I really like this build. There's a couple things I don't like in it, which I will discuss. But overall, I'm sure this guy did a really good job because he knows what he's doing. He's probably like me, where he's been playing Evils for a long time. Hence why he's once again playing the proper Evolsaur ratio of 3 Serato, 2 Diplos, and 3 Volcanos. A lot of people I see are running still 3 Serato, 2 Diplo, 2 Volcano. This guy is more important than ever. Serato's search effect is not that crucial anymore. And once again, you don't want to draw any of them, but he's the best one to draw. Obviously, he goes 21, you search as well, which sometimes that's very crucial and it comes in handy. But I think this is the best Evolsaur ratio. And I think now that we've seen this top twice, with the same ratio, Evoltile and Evolsaur, we should pretty much know that this is the best way to run the deck, and this is pretty much the way I've been running it for quite a while. 3 Westlow, 3 Najasho. I'm actually running 3 Najasho now. I keep switching back and forth between like 2 Najasho and 1 Lagasucho, or 2 Najasho and 1 Adonto. But I realize you need 3 Najasho. Like, it's the big power play with the deck. I think 3 Najasho and 3 EvoForce and maybe 1 enemy controller is even still good. Like, it's been testing really well for me. I didn't personally like 2 enemy controllers, but that's just me. But I mean, that might be the best way to run the deck now, is the 2 enemy controllers. It seems to be the most consistent way. The only issue I have with it is that, of course, you're basically replacing a more valuable trap with this card, and unless you have Najasho or you've specialed something off Volcano, this card isn't really all that effective. Of course, you can also like flip Westlow, special something like Diplo, pop a back row, and then enemy controller their monster and still XYZ. There's a lot of really cool rank 4 plays you can do. But that's still basically a 2 for 2, which I'm not really a huge fan of. If I'm going to be playing this game, I want to be getting pluses. So he was running the 1 Lagasucho. This is a tech. I'm not really a huge fan of this card. The more I play it, the more I'm just like, eh. I think it's nice because like it gives you another good target that if you open this in EvoForce, you're in a good spot, because it's actually quite good with EvoForce, of course. But I think its flip effect is good as well. I mean, there are some good rank 3 XYZs you can make, but it seems like his idea was like, if I do draw a Sucho and I don't have EvoForce, I can just like set it like a Westlow, protect it, and then I can just flip it up, special Westlow, and probably make Alucard, because he's only running 2 rank 3s. He was running Lion Emperor, which I think is staple in the extra deck. I honestly think you need to play it. And Alucard. So, I mean, that's good, because, I mean, like, you flip, it's potentially, like, they're going to 1-for-1 off Lagasucho, but if it does work out in your favor, you can plus off Alucard. I don't think this card is all that great right now, though, just because all the hand monsters running around, and, of course, people throwing the artifact monsters in, like, every deck they can, so I'm not really a huge fan of this guy, but, or is it a girl? I think it's got boobs. I think it's a girl. This girl looks like a boob. Those are heels. Yeah, I don't know. I still prefer Equipped Engineer. I was actually quite surprised he wasn't running this. This plus Dolka is just so powerful. I've won so many games doing that. But and then last monster he's running was 1 Blaster. I know some evil players swear by this, but the more I test this card, like every single time I tested it, I would like either draw it by itself, or I would just draw it with an Evolsaur and have like no follow-up play. So you end up minusing 1 yourself just to pop a card in the field, which honestly destroying 1 card right now, once again, isn't that good, because most of the time your opponent's going to summon a monster on the board that either gets around destruction, or it's going to be one of the hands, or you could potentially blind pop an artifact. So I think right now Blaster is not that great. I also don't like the fact that, like, once again, if you open him, he's not good, but people say he doesn't conflict with Singularity. He does conflict with Singularity. Sometimes you get him in your hand and you're like, oh, I want a special Blaster, but I'm going to have to banish my Evolsaur, my Westlow that just died. which means if I draw Singularity later, it might, or even next turn, it might not be live, and then I just have a dead card. And really the idea of the deck is you want to get, like, this isn't what the deck revolves around, but you want to get this card rolling as soon as possible, because it's essentially like a +1. You can special Logi off it, it's a 1 negate. You special Dolk off, it's 2 negate. And if you special Solda off of it, generally you can, like, you know, if you get both of his special summon destructions off, and then they have to waste another card to get over it, you could potentially go like +2 off of Solda. So pretty amazing card, and I feel like Blaster does conflict with that. I also don't like him because he takes up once again a spot where I'd rather just be running more protection, and he's not more protection. The one good thing about him, though, of course, is he can pitch a dead Evolsaur or Evoltile out of your hand if you want to make Evo Singularity live right away. So in that sense, he is quite consistent, especially if you say you open Blaster and you have a dead Evolsaur in the graveyard, and then you draw into like the Evoltile. But then once again, you're pitching away an Evoltile where you might want to use its effect, such as Westlow or Lagasucho. So I just really don't feel like this guy is all that great, but I can understand why he was playing it. And once again, I don't think you're wrong if you are playing it. It's just player preference. The 3 Evoforce, obviously, this is the best spell in the deck. He was once again running 2 Evo or enemy controller. The spell lineup is pretty much, I believe it's identical to the guy that got 5th place. I'm pretty sure it's card for card. 3 Evo Diversity, that's amazing. 3 Duality, I've decided, I was playing 2 and I just decided I wasn't consistently getting to my combos as fast as possible, and you want to get to Westlow right away as well. So I actually ended up running 3 Dualities in my build. I think it was on my last deck profile. So I think 3 Duality is good. I think if you're going to run 2, that's okay as well. Some people say this conflicts with my special summon plays, but remember that this deck has a lot of +1s, and you can essentially just set this if you need to go off. You don't have to play it that turn. And it's also really good once you do have set up with a Logia or a Dolka, say turn 1, or any time after that monster has already been placed on the board. He was running 1 Soul Charge, which once again seems like the right number for this deck. You are running a lot of monsters. You don't want to open this thing because it's quite, you know, dead drawish early game. It's fantastic late game, this deck. You have 4 Evolsaurs in the graveyard. You pay 4K, you get basically two rank 4 XYZs, but usually you're going to make like a Dolka and a Logia and you just win. He is running 3 MST. I'm only running 2 MST in my build. I can see why he's running 3 MST, but I don't feel like this deck loses out to Phoenix Chain or anything really badly, and most people are running Breakthrough Skill right now, so I feel like MST isn't as good. Once again, people are also running the Artifact cards, although good players generally aren't going to blind MST. Excuse me, you're going to wait or use these for face-up spells or traps or Skill Drain, something that's going to hurt you. Skill Drain does hurt this deck quite a bit, so I can understand why he plays 3, but I would just play 2 and side 1 personally. The problem with this as well is, like, if you are arguing that you know, you want to hit a Fiendish Chain if you flip up Westlow and they end up chaining it, I feel like Compulsory is still a better card. I'd rather take one of these out for a Compulsory, because if you flip up Westlow and they Breakthrough Skill it, you can still compulse the Westlow back to your hand. You get to use it again next turn, and then you'll get a special summon off of the Westlow still. If it was an MST in that case, it's not going to help you. So I feel like I would have dropped MST, but I think this is fine. Like, it's all preference once again. I guess in a larger tournament, this would essentially probably work out better. If you're going to play in a locals, I think you could just side the 3rd. 2 lands, I think, is staple in here, absolutely. And Book of Moon is definitely staple in here. It's so good. I've won so many games by flipping Westlow. They Phoenix Chain, Breakthrough Skill at MST, or not MST, sorry. Valor, I couldn't think of the card's name. They Valor, and you just chain Book of Moon, it goes face down, you get another flip next turn, and you still get an Evolsaur special, which is amazing. 3 Evo Singularity, 2 Breakthrough Skill. This card's very popular right now. I still prefer Phoenix Chains. I don't have any Breakthrough Skill, maybe that's why. But I just like how Phoenix Chain stops attacks, and it's continuous. I think that's really handy. I think this is better, though, right now against the Artifact deck. Absolutely better. Because I believe this gets around the hand effects, so that's obviously very important. Bottomless Trap Hole and Solemn Warning. No Torrential, and once again, I don't know why he wasn't running Compulsory. I would have cut out something, maybe the Lagasucho or Blaster or an MST and running Compulsory. Because I mean, that card's not very good against Boojins, but this deck has a fantastic Boojin matchup already, so I don't really see what the problem with that is. So on the extra deck, he's running 3 Logia, 2 Dolka, and 1 Soldo, which I've always said is the best ratio. He did say in his deck profile that the person recorded, I think Cordero might have talked to him or somebody, but He said he wishes he was running a third Dolka. From time to time, I've wished I've ran 3 as well, but most games, if you get out a second Dolka, you've probably won by that point. As I've already said in previous videos, this is basically 4 negates, and this is 3. So I feel like that's why you need to run 3 Logia and 2 Dolka, because you already have 4 negates with this guy, because you're going to protect him with Lance, you're going to protect him with Logia already on the board. And, you know, he's still 23, which is a solid number. He gets around the E-Dragons, the Artifacts, all that stuff. So he's just such a great card. And 1 Sold is all you need. King of the Feral Imps. This guy is absolutely staple in the extra deck. 2 101s. I thought this was definitely a great choice on his part. I mean, any rank 4 deck right now, if you have 101, you should be playing 2 of this card because it's just, like, so good. He was playing Exotone Knight. He said it was one of the XYZs he never summoned once. I personally would have dropped this for Zenmeister. A lot of people say they don't make this anymore, but I have several games. This isn't just playing online. This is playing against like good players as well. Where from time to time, Ryan Manor just messaged me. So from time to time, you know, you will get that combo off where all you have to do is make this guy, like the attack Westlow, it flips up, you special an Evil Sword, you just normal summon another one or something next turn if you drew it, which you're probably going to have one in your hand, it happens all the time. And then you overlay for this guy, you detach, flip the Westlow down, flip it back up in attack position, you special Volcano, special back the monster you detached off Zenmeister, and then you make your Logia or Dolka. Now, why this is so good is you're not just plus white on your board, but you're also setting up a Westlow play for the next turn. And all you have to do in that sense is protect Westlow, which will not be that difficult, or the Zenmeister, but will not be that difficult since you're probably going to make a Logia or a Dolka. And you're most likely going to have back row set, because this deck does run fairly good amount of traps, because I count these, and all these obviously as traps. So I think in a more trap-heavy build, I think this card's more effective. He's playing more of it looks like a very aggressive build, which I think EVOLS is an aggressive deck, but I also think it's a very good control deck. So I probably would have dropped out the Exoton for this, or Black Ship of Corn. Emerald Dweller, I've still never made this card in this deck, because if you're worried about monsters in the graveyard, Dolka does a better job. And he was running this guy who was really cool. I actually might try this guy out, but it's number 80 Rhapsody in Berserk. Now what he does is you can target one face-up XYZ monster you control, equip this monster you control to that target against 1200 attack. So this is really good. You can put it on Logia and it puts him up to 3600. You can put it on Solda and it puts him up to 3500, which is massive. And of course, Solda's, you know, that's the one way people always get over Solda is either back rows, Dark Hole, or they'll run it over. And you can put Solda up to 38. So it's a very, very good card. But I think what makes it so good actually is its effect where you have to detach its materials. You can detach one XY material from this card. You can target one card in your opponent's graveyard, banish that target. You can use this effect up to twice per turn. So that's really, really good because obviously you can banish essential cards that could, you know, your opponent might put there for a reason. Dandelion, Inzektor Hornet, Inzektor Ladybug, any of the elemental dragons, etc., etc., etc. There's a lot of good cards you could hit. Obviously water, you could hit Tidal. You know, things like that. And I believe this deck does have a little bit of a hard time with water. That's probably my hardest matchup, I would say, next to Fire Fist, but nobody's playing Fire Fist anymore, so I might give this guy a try, though. I think he's a really good card. One Lion Emperor, and then one out card. So that's the deck profile, guys. Comment down below, what do you think? I know this has been a bit of a longer video, but I just wanted to really talk in depth about how the evil decks are shaping up. Just wanted to also, once again, point out that this spell lineup has been the exact same in 2 topping decks twice, so this might be the ideal way to play your evil spell trap, or your spell lineup at least. I don't think this trap lineup's exactly solid, but that's just preference. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Peace.